Hello, everyone, and welcome to Embracing Your Essence on Lilydale Radio. I am Colleen Vanderzijden, a registered medium at Lilydale. I'm also a certified intuitive life coach, and we today are going to be talking about feeling unmotivated. But before I get to that, let's talk about some other things. Yes, we will. So, I am live from Lilydale, and Lilydale will be opening for the summer season on June 25th. And if you want to know what's going to be happening, just go to lilydaleassembly.org and you can see everything that is going on in Lilydale this summer. So, lilydaleassembly.org. At the top, look for the Learn tab. Click on that, then you'll see the calendar. You can see everything that's happening. We also have a summer program, a catalog book, if you will, and you can order one of those by calling the office or emailing them and requesting them to mail one to you. It looks like this. It's probably backwards for you, but there it is. It looks like that, and you can get a copy and peruse that as you wish. And we are also going to be talking about how to feel better, basically. That's what we always do on this show. So, as I said, we are live tonight, and we are live on my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach, and we are live on Lilydale Assembly page. And on Lilydale Assembly page, I cannot see your comments, but on my own page, I can. I will respond to your comments after the show. So please give me some comments, actually, and tell me that you're here. I would love to hear your name and where you're from so that I basically know people are watching. In case I have technical issues, I always get concerned. Oh, good. Nice to see people signing in. Hello, everybody. Hi, Jill. Hi, Ray. Hi, Rachel. Nice to see you guys. It's good to know you're watching with me tonight. So, as the summer gets going here, I do not know yet what's going to happen in Lilydale. We have no official word of anything. As soon as I know, I will let you know. I do know that workshops are going to be in person and some will be online as well. That's the extent of my knowledge on this. Hello, Ashley and Kathy. So, like I said, tonight we are going to be talking about feeling unmotivated. Feeling blah and unmotivated. We feel like we've lost our energy. And I am not going to, if you've watched me before, you know I am not going to talk about strategies to help you power through and get things done and give you motivational tips and techniques. I'm not going to do that, of course. But I am going to talk about why you feel this way and how you can get out of it. It's a little bit of a surprising way of getting out of it that you may not necessarily have thought was the way to do it. I believe it's the way to do it. So we are going to talk about that. And along with that, we will go over some ideas, some exercises to help you rebuild your energy. Because what happens when we're unmotivated, right? Our energy is depleted and, we try to get it back. So I'm going to help you figure out how to get it back. So we're going to do that. So hello, everybody. Julie Casadega. Hi, Dana. Hi, Deb. Struggling at my day job. I feel like it's executive dysfunction, but have no tools to overcome it. Oh, yeah. It is interesting. The reason I wanted to talk about this was that I was talking to some friends last week who were complaining about feeling unmotivated and really blah feeling. And it seems like so many of us have had a more and more frequent episodes of this low energy, haven't we? It's hard to get going and get things done. Even if we do get some things accomplished, we sometimes will feel like what we did was meaningless or not important enough because more important things didn't get done. So even if we've succeeded and gotten things done, we beat ourselves up for not getting more done. It's the strangest thing. Hello, everybody. I'm still going to say hello to people as you're joining me. Thank you for joining me tonight. When all of this happens, when we feel unmotivated, we've lost our energy. We just don't feel like ourselves. And there's lots of reasons why this happens. Of course, part of this, what's happening these days, is we've been dealing with a pandemic for a long time. And I think the pandemic kind of amplified these blah, unmotivated feelings. I know some people said when the pandemic first started and everything shut down, they thought, oh, great, now I can get all my things done that I've been meaning to do in my house, but then they didn't. And so that was a problem for them. As we've gone through this, there's this underlying current of anxiety. And there's a feeling that so many of us have to be on high alert, waiting for the next problem to come in, whether it's a personal issue or societal level, whatever it is. And we've had so many changes in our lives and so many unexpected events. It's almost like we are culturally suffering from post traumatic stress syndrome there. And this underlying society, the anxiety of society, and our own personal stresses have affected our energy levels. What's happening is we can only deal with problems for so long before our energy shuts down. Okay. So many times when we think when we're unmotivated, there's something wrong with us, that we did something wrong, that we should be able to just keep going no matter what. But when it shuts down, it's because there's been so much happening around us. So, dealing with the problems, our energy has shut down. So, we'll feel unmotivated. So, life could even feel like meaningless, or that you don't have enough purpose, or you need a certain or special purpose to help motivate you, and you can't find the purpose. We as a society are doers, aren't we? We have been taught to do. Many of us feel best when we've done something, achieved a goal, and kept busy. It's like we're always looking for the next thing to do. We've been trained to do this. That success is external. That how we live is focused on the external. And when we feel unmotivated, it goes against what we should be doing. Where it goes against what we've been taught is the right way to go. And when we want to be productive and then we miss that milestone, we judge ourselves for not doing enough or not doing the right things. And so our inner critic then starts going, "What's wrong with you? Why didn't you do that? Why aren't you motivated?" And then we feel worse because we failed, or we feel inadequate, or we feel that we should be able to power through. It's a really interesting cycle how our energy shuts down. So we're unmotivated, and then we feel worse because we beat ourselves up for not being motivated. Very interesting thing. So if you're just joining me, I'm Colleen Vanderzijden. I'm a medium at Lilydale, and we are talking tonight about feeling blah and unmotivated, and we're going to talk about a spiritual solution, basically, to get back to feeling like yourself. And we are going to be talking about all sorts of different ways to shift your energy and get your energy back up so you're not as unmotivated. I'm preaching to the choir. Yes, here we are. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. Yes, and so before I move on, get back to my topic here, I do want to mention lilydaleassembly.org. Go there, check out the website, see what's coming up this summer. My website, psychicmediumcolleen.com. Quick link, psychicmediumcolleen.com, and you can sign up for my mailing list, see what's going on. I have not been very good about sending out emails, but we're getting back on track now, so that will be good. And follow me on my page if you have not yet. Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach. And of course, follow Lilydale Assembly Incorporated is the official page. There, I've done all my announcements for you. So we are talking, as I said, about feeling unmotivated as our energy shuts down. I was thinking about this because when I was talking to my friend, we were talking about how, sometimes we're just sitting around, we don't feel like we've gotten enough done. And so if I don't feel like I've gotten enough done, I can feel a little bit off, feel a little bit like, oh, geez, it's been kind of a wasted day because I didn't do enough. But what I want to do today is shift that perspective on unmotivation. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're going to use it. I want to shift the perspective on that and our perceived need to always be doing. What if, and this is for you, Helen, if you're watching, what if how you're feeling is exactly what you need? What if feeling unmotivated is what you need? Beating ourselves up and wishing to feel differently is a sign of resistance. We're not accepting how we're feeling. We don't want to feel unmotivated. Nobody wants to feel unmotivated, right? But what if there's a purpose within this that is going to help you? And of course, I'm going to say there is a purpose within it. Your energy is shutting down to give you space to align yourself. It's trying to get you to go within and become more aware of yourself and your needs. It's a time to reconnect with yourself. And as you reconnect, your energy will naturally rebuild and get back to you. Your perspective will be the same as mine and pretty much everybody else's, is that our lack of motivation is stopping us from achieving, right? Because we want to get things done. So being unmotivated is in our way. We want to get things done and feel more successful and purposeful. We think we need to solve this low energy by figuring out more ways to do while we feel unmotivated. We want to figure out how to keep doing while we feel unmotivated. So we look for those motivational techniques to teach us how to power through or how to get more done in less time, how to multitask and keep going. What's happening with this, unfortunately, is we are choosing to ignore how we feel as we keep going, no matter what's happening. But here's the spiritual solution to this. Instead of focusing on doing, we have to focus on being, B-E-I-N-G, being. And of course, I will give you suggestions on this, how to shift this perspective. Doing is external. We're focused externally. Being is internal. The state of being is a feeling within us. It's hard to describe, really. But you know, when you feel most like you are being. You are being you. You're aware. It's usually this feeling of calm. We're aware of what's going on around us. We're aware of ourselves, our needs. We might be noticing what's around us. We might be noticing how we're feeling. Our vibration is really grounded and centered. It's connected to the source energy. Okay, so when we are being, we are in our spiritual flow, our natural, innate spiritual flow. When we're in that, we are more joyful and we are more content. Even with problems, if we can move into that being perspective, our problems and challenges, we will look at them from a more empowered place. We'll be able to look at what's happening, but not get all worked up over something. Whether it's our lack of motivation or our continued focus on the external issues. So in being, we are in our natural, innate spiritual flow. When we are focused on how we are not doing because we're unmotivated, we are focusing on the external again, aren't we? We are focused over here. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Or, I have no energy today. I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to sit here on the couch and do nothing. In this doing culture that we live in, goals and success outweigh our feelings, don't they? We have been so trained to produce, to be out there, to work on our problems, that we have disconnected from how we feel. We've disconnected from being. We are disconnected from the grounding and connecting to our natural selves. And when that happens, that's when we'll feel anxious or overwhelmed, thinking too much, we'll be distracted. So to feel better, we want to shift to the internal rather than looking to the external. Now, here's the tricky part. Being doesn't mean we don't do. Okay, so for those of you who are struggling right now, and I know somebody out there is saying something like this, but I really do need to get this done. I have to do this now. I have a deadline. I've got to get it done. Or you might be saying something like, but shifting to the internal isn't going to help me get those things done. I need to have strategies, how to power through. And let me tell you, what I'm going to share with you really works. I have been working with it, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. If you want to feel better and get things done, because this is going to help you, if you work into moving into that being phase, you will get more done. I know it sounds crazy, but go with me for a bit here as I explain it to you, because it does work. Being means we do with a different energy. Our priority becomes being. What we're doing is we're shifting, we're breaking that pattern that we always have to be doing. We have this inner belief that we need to be doing, that it's important for us to get things done. So what we want to do is shift out of this. We've got to break that pattern. I know it sounds crazy, and I know it sounds so kind of a backwards way of feeling better, being instead of moving and doing and get stuff done, but it works. So stay with me. I've been playing with this. Now, what has happened for me is I noticed that if I was feeling unmotivated, what I would do is I would normally keep going, right? I would power through. I've got to keep going. I've got to keep going. I've got the time now. I've got to finish this. Well, I've got the time. But what was happening is I wasn't as focused. And I noticed it was harder to achieve or even complete my goal. And if I did get something done, it really wasn't the best quality, in my opinion. It wasn't the best quality. And then I had to redo it when I was in a better space. So when we are constantly trying to keep going and do, when we don't feel it, we are not in the best space to create. So once I recognized that I wasn't feeling motivated, and for those of you who sent me nice messages last week because I didn't have my show saying, I hope you feel better. No worries. I was fine. This wasn't a precursor. This wasn't because I was feeling this way. I just had so many appointments, personal appointments I'd take care of, so overwhelmed. But thank you for the nice messages. When I felt like I wasn't motivated, what I ended up doing instead of powering through is I stopped. I just stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling it right this second. So I stopped and I intentionally moved into that being energy. When I moved into that being energy, I connected to the flow of myself and I connected to my spiritual flow because that's who we are, right? And I noticed, I was so surprised to see this, that it actually increased my motivation and my quality of work. I was in a different mindset when I took the action. It was really stunning to me because I was just playing with the idea. I didn't know if it was going to work or if I was just making something up. I just didn't know. So I had to play with it and see. And it really works. When we shift the focus to being and away from doing, our energy, inner energy, not this out here, crazy stuff, inner energy realigns. And when it realigns, we get stronger, we're connected to ourselves, and the motivation returns. I've talked in the past about how we need to feel our spiritual flow, how we're in the flow of our own energy and how our spiritual energy is connected. That's what we're doing. We're stepping back into the flow. So what we're going to do tonight for the rest of my little show here today is we are going to talk about a few ideas and exercises to help you switch your focus from doing to being. Ooh, got to say that one right or I'm totally going to mess you up. Switch our focus from doing to being. All of these ideas I'm going to talk about. Whenever you feel unmotivated, you just don't have the energy, it's gone. Or you don't feel like yourself even, or you're struggling with a project and it's just not working, it's not going the way you want it to go. And you know how sometimes when you're thinking too much, you try and you just need some space in there. Anytime you feel like you're powering through or you're beating yourself up because you're not getting enough done, stop. Just stop. Stop powering through. Stop beating yourself up. So anytime you're going to stop and you're going to try a new way. Whenever we want to shift our perspectives or actions, we have to interrupt the pattern that we've always done. We're so used to going, oh, I have no energy today, or it's just not working, and you keep trying. We've been well trained. So recognizing that that's what's happening, it's not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you. Feeling unmotivated is nothing to do with you. It's your energy actually trying to protect you and trying to give you this spiritual message. It's trying to help you. So to get back to this, we've got to recognize what our past patterns were and how we responded to our issues, our problems, our challenges, how we respond to feeling unmotivated, how we respond to do, the doing energy. So we've got to interrupt that. So the most important foundational step is to stop and intentionally change your typical response. These are all, what I'm going to share with you, are all easy, simple ideas. But the problem is, of course, we don't see their value. Sometimes we go, oh, we know all that already. And so we dismiss them, but we don't do them. We don't implement them. Isn't it funny? I use the word do, and I'm talking about getting out of the doing energy. It's a little ironic. So we're going to play with these. And if you even take one of these ideas, you will be surprised at the shift. So for each idea, I'm going to give you an exercise, except for the very last one, there's not really an exercise, but a little exercise to help you with this, a little bit of a different way of doing things than maybe you expect. Definitely than some of you will expect. But if you know me, you know I'm going to go off in this way anyway. So if you're just joining me, I'm Colleen Vanderzijden. We're talking about feeling unmotivated and blah and getting out of the doing energy, the doing focus, how we are fixated on do, and moving instead into being. The first one, of course, and somebody's got to know what I'm going to say right now, is, of course, the deep breathing. I know we all know this, don't we? But how many of us really stop and do it? And I'm going to show you a little, or talk about a little way that you can boost up some of that deep breathing stuff for you. Our energy comes from the breath. What you want to do is intentionally slow, deep breathing. Of course, it calms us. We know this, and yet we don't do it. So when you're struggling trying to complete something or even just get going on something, stop and breathe. Just stop and breathe. So you start to beat yourself up for feeling blah, unmotivated. You're focusing on the external again. Hit the pause button and breathe. We want to shift your focus back internally because when we feel unmotivated, it's focused on external, right? It's focused that we're not getting things done out here. So the quickest, simplest way is to breathe and pay attention back here. It's going to interrupt your pattern of your self-critical voice. It's going to interrupt your mindlessly going forward, pushing yourself. It's going to interrupt it. So to make it more fun and different and keep you focused, what you want to do is you want to breathe deeply and feel the energy in your body. So as we would do in a healing class, we would feel in our palms of our hands, we have energy chakras that we use for healing work. So what you would do is the deep breathing. As you do that, you focus on the palms of your hands and start to just notice what's happening here. So you know what we're doing, because sometimes we do the breathing and then we get distracted, right? Our mind goes off and we're back to whatever we were thinking about, whatever problem we're experiencing. But when we focus here, it gives us something to think about. But as you're doing it, here's the fun part. You'll start to feel the energy will start to build up in your hand. You might start to feel tingling or heat. You might feel cold. You might feel pressure. You'll start to feel this. So if you want to get back to inside here to yourself again, deep breathing, focus on your hands. As you breathe and you go deeper and deeper, you'll start to notice that feeling in your palms will get stronger and stronger. So what you're doing with this is you are strengthening your own energy. You're strengthening your connection to the spiritual energy. You're strengthening your connection to yourself, your beingness. You're strengthening this. You can also, if you want to play with it further, besides your hands, check in with your whole body and see. As you're breathing, you're bringing in the spiritual energy. You're bringing in the energy. It's getting you back in the flow. So important, and we don't do it. We just don't. You know, we would rather go, oh, you know, it's kind of like meditating. You know, everybody says to us, you've got to meditate, you'll feel better, you'll get, you know, you'll be calmer, you'll be more spiritual, all that stuff. And we don't do it. You know, I'll meditate later after I finish this. So we're going to interrupt that pattern. We're not going to wait. If we're feeling that, I'm going to wait till later. Do it now. Just do it now. So the simple one is the breathing. Feel it in your hands because it's fun besides. Next thing, the morning time. Our morning time. Normally, what do? We wake up. Oh no, I have to go do this. Or, oh no, oh, you know, my back hurts. Oh, you know, or this happened. I can't believe that person said that. Our mind automatically goes to our problems. I need to do things, or I should be doing this. And for so many of us, when we wake up after those first couple seconds there, our mind automatically steps into the stress that's related to doing. If you think back on your mornings, you may find that I am right and that we automatically do this. So what we want to do is break that pattern of stepping into those have-tos. I have to do this, or I should be doing this, or our complaining, or our worrying list. We want to be aware of this, and we're going to break it. break that habit. So in the morning, first thing, as soon as your eyes are open, the first thing you want to do is you're going to intentionally choose how you want your day to go. You intentionally choose it. Very first thing. So when you do that, you're already in bed. You're still in bed, right? So breathe, relax, enjoy the relaxed part of your bodies. Be still, connect, be peaceful. Keep breathing and relax. If you notice any of those thoughts come in, tensions, worries, etc., stop them before they take hold. Notice, set them aside. So we've got to be aware, right, of how we're feeling. We be aware. Then what you want to do is you want to decide how you want your day to go. So you pick the feeling you want to experience throughout your day. I've talked about internal intentions before, which is what this is. So you want to experience throughout your day. If you do have a physical goal and something you do want to achieve in the day, so you see, I'm not saying not to achieve things. I'm not saying not to do. We're going to do it from a different angle. We're going to do it with a different perspective. We're going to do it from the being perspective. So if you have that physical goal, think about what feeling would go with it, of course. Sometimes when I get up, I think about, okay, I'm in the middle of editing my book, as you know, and I go, oh, yeah, right, in that chapter, I need to do this. So I'd like to finish that chapter today. So I know I want to finish that. So what I'm going to say to myself is, what kind of feeling do I want to have with that? Well, what I really want to be is I want to have some clarity as to what I'm writing and how I'm correcting things. I want to have satisfaction. I want to have joy. And as I touch in with the ideas of how I want to feel, it gets me more prepared and primed to get to my problem, issue, challenge, goal, whatever it is. It gets me there. Many times, I will choose to simply be connected to and guided by the spiritual energy. I will just be like, okay, today, I want to be guided by the spiritual energy. Show me where I need to go. Show me what I need to do. Because if I do that, then I don't have to think or plan. I don't have to figure it out at all. It's going to be shown to me. All I have to do is be open and allow myself to be guided. That's the quickest one, if you ask me, because it's easy. You do it. I don't have to figure things out. I just want to be guided. What we're doing with this, we breathe and feel how we want to be in that day. So if I'm going to be guided, if I want to be guided, how would that feel? It would feel simple. It would feel that all I have to do is be open and just keep my energy open and awake and aware so that I can accept whatever comes into my awareness. So easy. So I step into that. I'm choosing my mindset. I can use this as a guide throughout my day. So anytime I start working on a project or I'm doing anything or my mind goes off into worries or I start to beat myself up because I'm not getting something done, I'm feeling blah, unmotivated, I stop. I just stop and I take a moment and I go, okay, today, this is what I'm doing. I'm opening myself up to be guided. And then it takes 3 seconds to stop yourself, 1 second to stop, the second to remember what you want to feel that day, how you want your day to go. And the third second, I can't say second today, the third second is just to breathe that energy. 3 seconds and you're back in that space. So you're setting your energy for the day. You're connecting with and listening to yourself. You're being. Okay. And I know somebody just said out there, but how is that going to help me become more motivated? Believe me, it does, because you are controlling your energy. You're opening it up. You're allowing yourself to be guided. You're looking for the good things. You're being yourself. When you step back into being yourself, all those other things kind of fall by the wayside. Anytime you don't feel in the zone of you, you're focused on something that isn't you. You're not being. So when you are focused on yourself being, the energy has to expand. It will expand. And when your energy expands, you're more motivated. I know it sounds crazy, but it works. Trust me on this. So you're going to do it. Now, here's the thing that's even more fun with this morning intention thing. When you get into that being where you set your intention for the day, how you want it to go, what your mindset is, all of that stuff, you're actually opening yourself up for that guidance from spirit, from source, from the energy. And this is going to help you with your spiritual connection. For those of you who are wanting to be a medium or studying to be a medium, or those of you who like working in healing work, anybody who wants to increase their intuition or just be aware of energy and empathy and how you connect with people. This state of being, this bonus, helps you get to that space and stay in it because you're in that spiritual flow. You're in it. So being helps you get there. Okay. Next thing, third one here, being present. We all know this, right? We all know this, but what does that mean? People are like, oh, I'm here, I'm present, I know what's going on. It does mean being mindful. When we're feeling unmotivated, how do we feel usually? We feel frustrated. And we're frustrated and we're not present. We're stuck in the emotions. We've become the frustration. We've become that emotion. We're focused someplace else. It's a different feeling totally when you are fully present, using all of your senses. And you have an increased awareness of your thoughts, your emotions, your body, your surroundings. When you're fully present, you're back to yourself. You are being. I have a cat who can be a little touchy, shall we say. And he was sitting on my lap and I was mindlessly petting him. I was watching TV or something and I just was petting him. I have 3 different cats. One of them you can pet until, forever. You could pet 20 hours a day, would be fine. The other one just gets up and walks away. Not this one. You pet this one mindlessly and you're not paying attention, not being present, not being aware. That cat won't walk away. He turns around and he bites and claws me because I've been petting him. I was not fully present in that moment with him, or I would have seen the signs to stop petting him. And I was absent-minded and distracted. And that's how we tend to live our lives. We are absent-minded and distracted. When you start to feel unmotivated or you're judging yourself for feeling unmotivated, get back to the present. This also helps us, there's always a bonus here, move into acceptance of life as it is. Okay, we detach from those stories we tell ourselves or those specific outcomes we have to have, or numbing ourselves, self-medicating because of the problems and stuff. We don't think ahead. We don't worry about the past or the future. We allow life to unfold. So in the present, we allow life to unfold. This doesn't mean we don't do. I'm going to say it again. Doesn't mean we don't do, but we're going to do from a different angle, a different perspective. When we are present, we are creating this space for us to become aware of what we need now, what you can learn in this moment. Being present is so essential. There's an exercise you can do, which is called insight meditation. And I don't know, it's not meditation in the typical way you would think of it, but what it is you notice your surroundings, including the energy. You notice what you hear, what you see, what you feel, what you smell, what you experience. You notice the energy flow of yourself or people around you or whatever. You notice these things. This gets you more peaceful and you're back in your body. It calms your mind down and out of your head. So when you're doing chores, the example of washing dishes. How many of us don't pay any attention when we're washing dishes? We just wash, set it aside. What if we actually were mindful in that moment and we paid attention to how the water feels, the temperature, how it runs. If you have gloves on your hands and you're hand washing, how the gloves feel, how you wash, and totally immerse yourself in that. And I know it sounds odd maybe for some of you, but if we do this, we are in the present, we're being mindful, and we are being. We're aware of ourselves and what's happening around us. It's so important to pay attention to our surroundings. Are we distracted? Are we trying to power through, not paying attention? Are we distracted even as we're driving? Or are we paying attention? It's a totally different mindset. And I would recommend just picking one of these ideas, just something that grabbed you, and playing with it. I love to play with these ideas, and because you'll see that it actually does work. And if one doesn't work one day because you are too distracted, try a different one. I'm going to check the comments. Off topic, do you have fairy hair? Yes, I do have fairy hair. Thank you. I need to get more, Rachel. I need to get more. If anybody knows anybody who does it in the Fredonia, Lilydale area, let me know. I'm going to try to do it myself, but it might take me some time. My thoughts each morning start with, I am blessed. Let me be a blessing to the world today. That is beautiful, Joanna. See, isn't that a wonderful one to you? So when you wake up in the morning, if you say that to yourself, I am blessed, what you are saying is, I have blessings coming to me. I am blessed. I am is always very powerful. I am, that means you have it. I am blessed. You're owning it. And let me be a blessing to the world today. Let me extend my energy out to help other people. That's a beautiful example of something you can use to set your day, the mindset you want to have in your day. It's beautiful. Okay, so back to my little list here. So being present, try it. When I'm talking to you on this show, I am in this moment. I am so present. I'm so aware. In some ways, I hear what I'm saying. In some ways, I don't, because sometimes it channels through for me, as you know. And it is so interesting because I'm in that flow, and that energetic flow. In some ways, I can pick up on what some of you are thinking, the people who are going, oh, I don't know. This just sounds too, it's not going to work. And for you, I say, give it a shot. You got nothing to lose, right? Just give it a shot. And it's so wonderful to be in that space where I'm so present. If I happen to have, a stomach ache or a headache or something, while I'm doing this, I would not be experiencing that because I'm totally in the flow. Okay. It's amazing. You know how it is when you're working on a project or you're doing something and you get immersed in it and time just goes by and you're right there in it. That's being. We want to create the being as much as possible. As much as possible. Okay, next one here. Being in the body. You want to do being in the body. I do distant healings with people, even though it's not on my website. So I do distant healings with people, and I was working with a young child the other day. And as I was working with her, I had this flash of sticky feet, is what I call it, getting into the body. You may have heard the phrase, feel like you're a tree and you have roots that go into the ground, so you're grounded. You may have heard that in a class someplace before. So I was calling it, because it came in this way, as sticky feet. That you put your feet down and they're stuck to the ground and they're there. So you're not going to move. And for this child, it came in as a way to handle feelings of overwhelm or feeling, like we're out here instead of inside, getting her back in her body. And I realized after I was talking to her mom about it, that this is such a fun way to get back in your body. Because what you would do is you would stand there with your sticky feet, so your feet are not going to move. And what we want to do is notice the body. So if you're stressed out, of course, there's going to be areas of constriction or tension. So you would notice that, and you would intentionally breathe and relax it. And as you do that, the energy starts to flow, and you may notice that your body starts to move naturally. So you may shut your eyes if it's comfortable to do that. I don't want you to lose your balance, or keep your eyes open or whatever it is. But you stand there, and it's literally being in your body, feeling the energy in your body and allowing it to move with you. You're aware of your body. It's a very grounding process. After I did this with this child, I tried it myself when I was getting a little in my head about things. And I got up from my desk and I'm like, stop, practice what you're preaching. And I went over towards my door, and I just stood there and just closed my eyes and just breathed and felt. And then my body did start moving. And when your body starts moving a little bit, that means you're in the energetic flow. Just let it move. This gets you back to you. Now, the next thing and the last thing I want to talk about is using this beingness as a guide. Recognizing we have to shift that priority. We've been taught do, do, do. So this is a big pattern for us to break. I mean, even when we meet somebody, they ask you, what do you do? That's the first thing. What do you do? You know? And what does that mean? What kind of job you have, all that stuff. Nobody ever asks, who are you really? Like, who are you beyond your job, beyond your labels? Who are you? And that's really what we should be asking. Tell me about yourself. And then we always go, well, I'm a da 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 da, and we do the labels. What if we said instead, well, I'm a beautiful being of light? I know if you're not in the spiritual metaphysical realm, you'd probably think we were crazy, right? But wouldn't that be the coolest thing if somebody walked up to you and asked you and you said, I'm a beautiful being of light. And they said, wow, me too. Wouldn't that be something? So we want to use this being as a guide when we're thinking, when we're planning, when we're living. When we're being, we start to feel what's right for us. We feel it. There's a certain energetic flow that happens in our body when we're being. It's like we have our own personal dowsing system within our body that tells us what's right. We can also, when we're being, recognize when we're attempting to control life rather than allowing it to unfold. When we allow life to unfold, we're in the flow. When you're stuck on a project and you're trying to make it happen, or you're even trying to get your energy up to try to get a project going or something, are you trying to force it? If you are, that's when you step back and go, I'm going to move into the being. Spirit knows what you need. Spirit knows what will motivate you, help you get back in the flow. Okay? If you step into fear, so you feel, I got to do this before I lose it, say you want to rent a house someplace, for a vacation, which everybody's doing after COVID times, apparently. And you go, I got to get this house before it disappears, rather than trusting that the right one is going to appear to you. If you're being, you're going to trust. If you're criticizing yourself for not being, or not doing, I should say, if you're criticizing yourself for not doing, not getting enough done, that means it's time to move into allowing yourself to be. When you're being, that creates space for insights. That creates the space for guidance. It's a whole new way of living. Just touching into that energy and using it as you make your choices throughout the day. The more you practice being, with one idea, the easier it becomes to apply it to every aspect of your life. As you play with this, you'll start to feel what it feels like. It will go along with when you feel most like you, when you're in the zone of you. That will be the feeling, okay? So when you're immersed in something, when life is flowing, and you know how it is when you're trying to solve a problem and all of a sudden the flash comes and you just know the answer. It's that kind of feeling. And you'll be happier, of course, and have more contentment in your life. So when your focus is on being, we approach the doing with a totally different attitude. We let go of that control and the fear-based thoughts. We let go of it. It's really fun to go this way. I have to keep reminding myself. I've been practicing it for a little bit here still, but I have to keep reminding myself because, I'm old enough and I've been ingrained and I've been doing the same things for so very long, and we have to take some time to break those patterns. If you're feeling unmotivated, break the typical pattern of how you respond. So if you feel like, oh, I didn't get enough done today, rather than beating yourself up, don't even try to figure out why you didn't get anything done or how to move forward. Don't even do that. Just go in to be the being and allow yourself to be. And the motivation will start coming back and you'll probably get guidance on how to move forward. It's truly amazing. Instead of beating ourselves up, we want to accept ourselves as we are. So when we do that, it's an opportunity to go within and be. Just be. I know it sounds wrong for some of you, I'm sure, are going, oh, I don't know about this one. I know it sounds wrong to solve the problem of being unmotivated by not powering through. Not coming up with a plan, not structuring your day down to the minute or whatever and figuring it out that way analytically. I know it sounds wrong and so kind of backwards, but with a greater emphasis on being, the shift in your mindset will get you going. and you will be amazed. I'm telling you. You'll have to try it because I've had such an experience with it. It's been so much fun to do it differently. For those of you who watched me before, you know that I was the queen of stress. Now I'm just the princess of stress. But I was the queen of stress. And always, we have everything laid out and get it under control. And doing this being thing for a few weeks now has actually, it's made my life so much more simple. And literally, I can just sit at my desk, something's not working, not flowing the way I want it to be. I just go, okay, take care of it. Take care of it now. And that's all I have to do. And that helps a lot. My friend died, and here you are on my feet again every time this happens. That's interesting. Well, I might talk about that. But anyway, so that was my topic tonight. How did I do time-wise? Not too badly. Not too badly. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week. I never know. I always think I have an idea, and then Spirit says, no, we're going to do something else. So there you have that one. If you have something in mind, though, that you'd really like me to talk about, something to address, do let me know. You can just write it in the comments underneath the show, and I will add it to my list of ideas. There are so many things going on in people's lives right now that it seems like everybody has some desires for guidance as they're moving forward. So we will talk about that. And what else do I need to tell you about? I don't know. So you can connect with me, ColleenVanderzijden.com. Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach on Facebook. And as you know, I'm working on my book. And so the more followers I have, the better the publisher likes it. So I'm trying, maybe more pushing on that a little bit. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Feel free to continue to write comments as I get ready to sign off here. And I will respond to any questions you have. And if you have any thoughts for me, that would be lovely. And don't forget about getting your Lily Dale book if you want the actual program book. You can find it online as well, lilydaleassembly.org. So thank you so much. I hope that was helpful for you. So a little bit of a different perspective on feeling unmotivated tonight. So I hope it's helpful. You guys have a great night. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.